Hello, this is Elizabeth, and I'm here with the second voyage of Sinbad from the 1001 Nights. In the first episode, a wealthy merchant named Sinbad invited a humble porter into his mansion. By coincidence, the poor man shared the same name. He was complaining about the unfairness of the world, and the rich Sinbad responded by telling him the stories of the 7 sea voyages that made him wealthy. Now, let's hear the second tale. My first voyage had been very profitable. I was a wealthy man again, with no shortage of luxury or entertainment. But, my friend, I couldn't rest for long. I had tasted the salt air and the thrill of adventure. Soon, I was pulled back to the seaport at Basset. There I found a brand new ship with fine sails. The captain was gathering merchants for a voyage, so I booked my place and bought goods for trade. We set sail the very next day, cruising from island to island. Business was good everywhere we landed. Eventually, we came to a peaceful, uninhabited island. It was lovely, with green trees, colorful birds, and cool streams. I wandered off, found a nice spot, and ate my lunch. Afterwards, I fell into a pleasant sleep. When I awoke, I felt uneasy. I hurried back to the beach, but my fellow travelers were gone. They had left me. I was marooned. I sat on the shore, hoping to see our ship return, but it never did. They had forgotten all about me. Tears filled my eyes as I thought of the life I had lost in Baghdad, my fine house, my silken cushions, my garden, my friends. I had exchanged all those comforts for a bed of leaves. I had to pull myself together. Maybe I wasn't as alone as I thought. I climbed a tall tree to get a better view. I saw no signs of human life, but I did spot a strange, giant white dome in the distance. I had to investigate. I climbed down and walked towards it. It was huge, about 50 paces around, and smooth like an eggshell, with no door. As evening approached, the sky went dark. I looked up and saw it wasn't a cloud, but a giant bird. I hid as the monster landed on the dome, which I now realized was its egg. I remembered travelers' tales of a monstrous bird called AROC. Desperate to escape, I had a mad idea. I crept up to the bird, climbed onto its giant claw, and tied myself to its leg with my turban. I spent the most uncomfortable night of my life there. In the morning, the ROC took flight, carrying me high into the air. We flew over the sea until we reached a mountainous land filled with volcanoes. The bird landed in a deep ravine. I quickly untied myself and hid. The valley walls were too steep to climb, and the ground was swarming with enormous serpents. But then I saw something amazing. The rocks sparkled with huge diamonds. What good were riches in this valley of death? I spent a day and a night hiding from the serpents in a cave, only to find a giant one brooding on her eggs inside. I was terrified, but survived the night. The next day, I staggered out, weak with fear and hunger. Suddenly, huge pieces of meat started falling from the sky. I remembered a story. Merchants would throw meat into a diamond-filled valley. Diamonds would stick to the meat, and eagles would carry it to their nests. The merchants would then scare the eagles away and collect the diamonds. I knew what to do. I filled my pockets with diamonds, tied a piece of meat to my chest, and lay down. Soon a giant eagle swooped down, grabbed the meat and me with its hand, flew to its nest. Before the eagle could eat, men started shouting and throwing stones. The bird flew off. The men approached, angry to find me instead of a fortune. "Do not worry," I said. "My pockets are filled with enough riches for all of us." They were amazed by my story. We walked for 2 days, avoiding giant rhinos, and finally reached their ship. We sailed for Baghdad, where I sold the diamonds for a great fortune. Now I was twice as wealthy as before, and I swore I would never set foot on a ship again. Oh, if only I had kept that promise. The porter was in awe. The merchant gave him 100 gold dinars and invited him back the next evening to hear another tale. I hope you enjoyed this story of Sinbad. I'll be back soon with his next adventure. In the meantime, you can find more free stories from around the world at our website. And if you're able to support us, we'd be most grateful. For now, from me, Elizabeth.